Hi lovelies, Lisa here from Mindful Tarot, and I wanted to do a little unboxing video today of the new Uusi Pagan Otherworlds deck. Now there have been a few videos online already about this. Elyse at Wild Moon Tarot has a sweet little unboxing video, for instance. But I just couldn't resist unboxing this with you online, and mainly because the quality of the packaging and of the production of this deck is so extraordinary. Everything starting from the little greenery neatly taped to the protective wrapping, the muslin pouch with their extraordinary black letter Gothic logo, to the box itself. It's so exquisite. I just really wanted to share it with you all. You know how it is. I wanted to share it. This packaging, it's exceptional. I mean, I really have not seen anything like this. It's kind of like what Baba Studios does, but I think it's more beautiful, more attention to detail, and, you know, $45. I mean, a fraction of the price, which is really interesting to me. I'm not sure how Uusi can do this, can deliver this kind of quality. But, you know, just this exquisite stamp, and the stags, I mean, everything about their work, you know, they're sort of calling forward this old world quality, the artwork in the cards themselves, that sort of sense of rich oil, old masters, you know, that kind of depth of saturation of color, realism of the art itself, and then that incredible blending of pigment, you know, really just that sense, that burnished quality that you see in old masters. So then that aesthetic carried out beautifully in this, you know, also equally kind of old master, 16th, 17th century, this black letter font. Then the packaging of the box itself, you know, complete with the custom stamp sort of thing. You know, it gives this quality. First of all, it gives this quality that the old world has a kind of otherworldly quality. It gives this sense that something has shipped brand new from centuries ago, you know, in some magical steamer trunk coming across the ocean. So I you know, really had to film an unboxing because I almost can't bear to open this. The first time I've ever thought that I maybe need to buy a backup deck to keep it pristine. Okay, now I'm gonna have to see if I can, maybe I can open it from the other end. I don't want to break that stamp. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Open it from the other end. Keep the stamp intact. Okay, so, you know, the box itself, again, this kind of, just the sort of aging of it. Beautiful cardboard box. And then the cardstock, which is, it's like my, a little bit like the Solabusca deck that I have, that Tarot by 7 created, sort of a linen finish, a little bit plasticized feeling, very sturdy. And the backing carries out the same kind of gilded feel. So I'm just going to, these feel very, very delicious. They're thick. They feel like playing cards. You know, they don't have, because of the slight plasticizing, they don't quite have the same quality that the deck has. They feel more modernized, which I don't mind. I don't mind at all. But look at that. So this is the Seeker card, their extra card with the Lemniscat at the top. I didn't get their guidebook, so I don't know if I'll go back and get that. And then this extra series of phases of the moon. Beautiful. Elle talks about that. not Elle, I'm sorry, Elyse. You know, everything is layered. I mean, again, it's that, it really does to me, these have the feel of oil paintings. And I've never quite, you know, the Francois Tepenade, the Golden Rider, that were also very, very different aesthetic because it's a clone of the Pamela Coleman Smith, but based on oil paintings. There's something about the use of oils and the palette. I don't know why I decided to have my little chick in the background there, but you know, he's keeping us company. I mean, it really is. It's like, what time are we in here? You know, sort of old master feeling. Pagan kind of, well, I mean, this is like classical Adam and Eve moment here, right? There's that kind of, well, maybe it's kind of like a Renaissance biblical feel. You know, if you could imagine the 16th century, 17th century masters trying to depict characters from the Bible. Wow, I love the backdrop wash. And I think because of the linen background, you really have that carried on, that feeling of it being on canvas. Wow. Oh my God, look at this Justice card. You know, there's this surreal quality to the images as well. Like, you know, this, you know, where are we? When are we? What is the time period? What are the references? You know, she's kind of a bird's nest surrounding her. I'm not going to go through all the cards, but oh my gosh. It's got its own idiom. It reminds me, you know, in a way of like the Shamanet tarot, where Eden Gallanter just kind of has her own vocabulary, her own visual repertoire. You know, this sort of, oh my gosh, that devil. You know, but the devil sort of echoes in certain ways what we see in justice and in death in these cards. Now that could be from a 16th century painting, no problem. We've got this, there's 8 stars. Well, look at that moon. I'm sorry, I'm like whispering here. I don't even know if this is picking up. You know, some of the imagery here, very, very Rider-Waite-Smith. Some of it seems to harken back to older visual traditions, not just Marseille, but, you know, Estensi tarot and you know, this has a sort of 19th century feel to it, these reeds. So that's interesting. And the ways in which the pippiness of the pip cards. Oh, I love that. I just watched a really wonderful video that Elle at Sacred Seed did on breaking the Rider-Waite-Smith habit. I think this would be an interesting deck to use as one of her transitional transitional object decks as you're trying to break that attachment to Rider-Waite-Smith. So, you know, having these pip cards that ask you to enter into the landscape. You know, here's this 5 of Pentacles, or I'm not sure what the Uusi people are calling this, but you know, you've got this sense of deprivation echoed just in the barrenness of the tree and the snow, right? If you come to this card, not even particularly numerologically invested in what it is as a 5, but thinking of it with the Rider-Waite-Smith imagery in the backdrop, the card is completely, easily, readily apparent. And then, you know, here we've moved into summer. So that transition from 5 to 6, very clear cut. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, these cards, this is quite an extraordinary deck. Oh, look at that Queen of Wands. Wow. All right, y'all. This is gorgeous. I mean, there's, yeah. You know, and here we have, this is, you know, really readily apparent, the 9 of Wands. So, you know, and that basically the 8 of Wands as it is in every freaking deck. So, I mean, interesting. I think I need to think a little bit more about how I make sense of a kind of Marseille tradition, you know, and how you make sense of a deck like this, which is in many ways very, very clearly echoing Rider-Waite-Smith conventions, but doing it with very pippy pips. You know, I mean, this is essentially the Ace of Wands as you might see it in any Rider-Waite-Smith clone, right? The Ace of Cups as you might see it in any Rider-Waite-Smith clone. So how do you cross over? Yeah, I think I'm going to have to work with this deck a fair amount and then think about how this deck helps us not just move away from a sheer reliance on the imagery of the Rider-Waite-Smith, but form bridges back to older ways of interpreting. Look at that, beautiful. Older ways of interpreting. Yeah, the King of Swords. This is one of the, I think the first card of theirs that I saw on social media. And I was like, yep, okay, there we go. He's got a full bear skin on him. That is the King of Swords. That is the King of Swords. And look at the Queen of Swords. In a world that I want to live in. Look how badass. Oh my God. Badass, beautiful, brilliant, powerful. The flower, I mean the butterfly being released from her hand. This sense of dominion. And look at his relationship, that his hand echoing kind of the Hierophants. I won't say salute, that's not quite the right word. And then the relationship to the butterfly. This is a very smart deck, I think. Okay. You know, I mean, in some ways really, really derivative. Like in the aces all seem really quite derivative and then really reliant on Rider-Waite-Smith energy, but then doing some interesting things throughout. I think the Queen and King of Swords are worth spending some time with. All right, this did not disappoint. This is a tremendous deck, a beautiful deck, and insanely well priced. So get yourself a copy of these before they sell out. That's all I can say. All right, guys. Much love. That's my hand kissing. Mwah, mwah. See you soon.